courts. How do you respond?
Rajdeep, I don't think it's anybody's case that framework should not be decided by governments. But let us get one thing very clear, that what we are seeing in the country right now is a clear abdication of responsibility on the part of governments. We know that we are in the middle of a pandemic. We, at the same time, are seeing that governments are in total denial. There is a constant refrain, whether it is in court or outside, where we hear people say, including the Prime Minister, that there is no national lockdown this time in the second wave, and therefore we are hearing government after government saying that things are not so bad. And yet, if you just step out, you can see the kind of misery and destitute millions of people are in our country are in. Let us remember, Rajdeep, that 90% of our workforce is in the unorganized sector. What happens to them when there is a lockdown that is imposed? Is that not known to the government? And we already
when the government, for example, brings, sorry to intervene, Anjali Bharadwaj, when the Modi government, for example, says one nation, one ration card and intends to bring it, intends to enforce it, do you give the government the benefit of the doubt or not?
One nation, one ration card can have ration cards, Rajdeep. And the reality is that last time during the lockdown, it became very clear that people lose their sources of income and then they have really nothing to fall back on to feed themselves and their children. The government needed to put in place systems for a basic social security and food security net to make sure that people can live a life of dignity. And now coming to the Supreme Court's judgments.
Anjali Bharadwaj, the government claims it has done it.
Let me say this, that the Supreme Court, if you just look at the judgment that the court has passed, is really putting on record the fact that there is a violation of our constitutional rights. The Supreme Court is not coming in just to dictate policy or to give directions to a government and stepping into the executive shoes. It's saying what is happening. It's saying there's a violation of Article 21, the right to live with dignity. We know of lakhs of people who have been reduced to begging for
right. Okay. You're saying
of the lockdowns and the pandemic, and they have no way to feed themselves. So the court is simply upholding people's constitutional and statutory rights.
Okay.
And I think that that is the responsibility in a democratic republic of the courts, of the judiciary. I don't think that there is a question of overreach. The governments have had enough time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen policies come, and people can't be left to either beg or starve. Look at the case. UP, she and her 5 children were starving for days and they're still in hospital probably right now. So we can't have a situation where the courts keep silent when people's rights are being trampled upon.
Okay.
And that's really what is happening right now. If you looked at the vaccine case as well, what did the court do which was judicial overreach? The court just asked straight, simple questions. The court said, why has it been left to the states to ask to buy vaccines? The court just said, give us the policy that you're adopting. What else did the court say? Similarly, in the migrant workers case yesterday, one of the pleas was to say, give some cash transfers to people. They have no way to feed their children, even milk otherwise. They don't have any way to get medicines. But the court said that that's a policy matter.
Okay.
They did not give any direction. So I think the court is being very balanced, but it is coming in to do its duty.
Okay, you made your point, and very strongly and passionately at that. Before I go